All right. Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are. Welcome to LSR Group 2, round, I believe, number 5 now. Yes, it is round 5. Okay, so we are here at the Qatar Grand Prix circuit for the Qatari Grand Prix, and we are starting a short quali session here today. 80 minutes for the drivers to set their fastest lap times around a circuit that is very twisty, very windy, and requires a lot of skill and commitment to get right. Qualifying sessions should be an entertaining one. The person that will get pole here today will be testing the limits of the track as much as they can. 16 drivers here today, and the title contenders of Zarowski and Alex and Kristen are all attending here today. There's no doubt that there will be a battle towards the front between those three guys, and hopefully we can expect something, at least an entertaining race. The track historically doesn't have that many passing options except for turn 1. As we look at the Red Bull, who is now approaching the last corner. Mick, I believe, a newcomer to Group 2. In the Red Bull, the reserve. And we shall see how he does. Can he impress the drivers around him as he starts his lap along with Tristan just behind, as well as a V-carb of Asian persuasion, all on the same straight. Ozan also out on track. No surprises for the first sector, purple for Mick, as he's the first one on the fast lap. Now in the midst of Sector 2, this section is so hard to get right. The limits, the track limits are always so easy to cut in this section. And approaching the fast Sector 3, it's a triple apex corner. I classify it as one corner, but a lot of people, it's basically 3 corners in one. Going into the second to last, very easy to go wide there. And in the final corner, going down to 4th gear, needs the best exit as possible. All of the deployment engaged. And it's a 23.1 for Mick. And Tristan goes across the line. It's almost 2 seconds faster. And he goes into pole position. Asian Persuasion with a 21.7. And I believe the Williams of Vacant has invalidated. Ozan, the Sauber, goes into a 22.8. And then you have the Aston Martin of Zarowski, who had a disappointing Japanese Grand Prix. Has invalidated his lap, will go again. Let's see. So Avenue K approaching the final sections on an out lap. The other Haas of Adam also on an out lap. Strating is on a lap. He doesn't want to get blocked. Oh, nope. He's invalidated as well. The Ferrari of Dubsy is on an out lap at the moment. And most people are currently just starting their laps or coming in this lap. So, no stress. So, let's have a look at Zarowski. A 30 dead in Sector 1. 2 rounds before, pointless last week. Would need to have a redemption weekend here today. Sector 3. Almost entirely flat out in qualifying. And he's half spun, and that's the lap ruined for the Aston Martin driver. Takes the 100-meter board along with it. And that's the end for this attempt. Not ideal in the slightest. Anthony OK will be the next one to cross the line to set a lap. The McLaren driver points finishes throughout the entire season and will now cross the line. It will be a 22.9. It puts him into 4th, a 10th away from 3rd. It's Adam and Haas with 21.9 in 3rd, 5 tenths away from his teammate in provisional pole at the moment. Dubsy has invalidated. Bench warmer on a lap, 30.5 in sector 1. .57 in sector 2. Taking as much curb as he can. And has invalidated at the apex on the second to last corner. Very easy to do so. He'll have to go again and will come into the pits now. Mick crosses the line with a 22.6. He gains by 5 tenths of a second. Puts him to 4th. We've got Zarowski coming out on an outlap again. We've got Vacant coming out on an outlap again. And Alex has been incredibly consistent this season on an outlap as well. He'll be the next one to cross the line to start his lap, as no other drivers are currently on fast ones. The Ferrari driver, one out of the 3 who is favourite to take the Drivers' Championship. And now we'll start his lap. He would like to make a statement in qualifying. The Haas of Tristan just behind, also starting his lap, one of his title contenders. Approaching the 2 right-handers towards sector 1, the end of sector 1, and it's a 30.3. A bit shaky on entry at the hairpin. He doesn't want more of that. In the midst of sector 2. Where will this lap take him? Now in sector 3. Within the limits, the track limits, into the last corner. He'll come across the line now, and it will be a 21.8. It puts him into third. Tristan has gained by almost 4 tenths, and he has because he's got a 21.1. He's almost 6 tenths faster than Asian Persuasion in the V-Carb. This guy's quick. Vacant. Oh, he spun! Oh dear. Doesn't want that at all. And he'll go straight into the pits. Hasn't set a lap time yet this qualifying session. As Zarowski with a 21.8. It puts him into 3rd. Behind Asian. Starting. Goes ahead of his teammate with a 21.4. A good lap from the V-Carb driver. V-Carb have had when with their main drivers, have had good qualifying sessions so far this season. What I believe was a 3rd and 4th in the Japanese Grand Prix. Now it's 2nd and 3rd, provisionally at the moment. So, the Mercedes of Racing Uncle will come across the line now. It will get a 22.2. It's a 7th place at the moment as Dubsy has set a lap time of a 22.8. Hussein Kuzi is starting his lap now. Adam Tristan will be coming into the pits. So the only driver who is currently on the lap time at the moment is Kuzi. What can Kuzi do? The Group 3 driver who stands in for team again in Group 2. In the McLaren livery now. Oh, that was Benchwarmer who comes across the line with 21.7. A good lap from the Aston Martin. I didn't see he was on the lap, that's my bad. Now in Sector 3, he's got a Mercedes that gets out of the way. And we'll be approaching the final corner. His McLaren teammate has done a 22.3. He'll want to beat that ideally. Gets very close to the limits. And will come across the lines at 22.4, right behind his teammate, just under a 10th behind his teammate, now in 10th place. Who is on the lap at the moment? Benchwarmer's just completed his lap. No one's on proper lap at the moment, from what I'm seeing. But there are still some drivers who haven't set a proper lap time yet. Kendricks, Lethal Pete and Vacant. Vacant spinning out on his second attempt, invalidating his first. Lethal Pete on an outlap. Williams driver will be starting his attempt. I believe Adam is on the lap at the moment as well. The Haas 8 tenths behind his teammate. He has gained 2 tenths in Sector 1. It's a good start for the Haas, who has had a quietly good season so far. Now in Sector 2. It's so tricky sometimes. Still 2 tenths cumulative improvement. 2 tenths would put him up, because it's so close, it could put him up towards 3rd place, depending on how much he improves in the final sector. And Adam will come across the line now. It's a 21.6, and that does put him in 3rd place. It's an almost 3/10 improvement. Good showing. Lethal Pete on a lap. He's not now. He's invalidated. Zorowski not on a lap anymore. Invalidated. And now drivers will be coming out to start their laps. How much time is there left? Okay, there's 2 minutes left of qualifying left. 2.5 minutes of qualifying. That means everyone will now be starting their final attempts. Hendricks finally comes out to start his one and only attempt on an outlap. So, Zorowski will not have enough time to come back into the pits and come back out on an outlap again, so He's currently on the cooldown and will be one of the first ones to start their final lap. The person who put it on pole multiple times this season, currently in 6th. He'll want to try and get pole again. Tristan, 3 times ahead of starting. It's a big challenge. Let's see how he does. He's got a McLaren ahead of him, which does get out of the way. And now a bit of clean air in front. Approaching the end of Sector 1. It is a 30 dead. It's a 10th and a half up on his previous lap time. Which would already put him 3rd if the improvement stays at 10th and a half. Adam has retired from the session. That final lap he did, that put him up into 3rd. Good enough. He thinks it's good enough and doesn't really have enough time to go out again, so fair enough. Zorowski, 2 tenths up at the end of Sector 2. Goes past where he spun. Keeps it within the limits. Approaching the final corner. Using all of the ERS. He'll come across the line now. It's a 21.6. It's 3rd place behind starting. And that's his final attempt. Let's see where the other drivers will come across the line now. Benchwarmer is starting a lap. I'm trying to see who is next. Oh god. Okay. This is going to be a tall order. Right. Vacant starting a lap. Lethal Pete starting a lap. The Red Bull of Mick is ending his lap. Was on none ERS for a moment. We'll come across the line now. And it's a 22.5. It's a 12th place. Hendricks, for his one and only lap, sets a 22.4. The Sauber comes across the line with a 10th and a half improvement. It's only 14th. The Mercedes of Racing Uncle, I don't know, I couldn't tell if he improved or not. Asian Persuasion, 21.6. It's only 4th starting. He does improve into a 21.1, but it's only 2nd. He's only 19 thousandths off pole position, which is unfortunate. Provisional pole because Tristan is still on a lap at the moment. And Tristan will be wanting to extend. And he does. It's a massive improvement. The only driver in the 20 so far. Alex comes across the line with 21.4. Benchwarmer comes across the line with 21.5. It's 4th place. Vacant comes across the line with a 21.5. And then Dubsy. Lethal Pete goes into the top 10 with 22.1. And Dubsy will not be improving on his let's see. Yeah, Dubsy won't be improving on his lap time. He's invalidated. Tristan with a 20.6. It's a big lap from the Haas. The only driver to make it within the 20s. And it's almost a 5. It is an over 5/10 difference between pole and 2nd place. I can't see anything. It's fine. But Tristan does line up on pole, starting in 2nd. And I need to look at for the rest of the grid to see what else is happening. I couldn't see the results screen. Nevertheless. Right, let's go through. So, Tristan on pole, starting in 2nd. Alex in 3rd. Benchwarmer, for his best qualifying of the season, starts 4th. Vacant in 5th. Zorowski in 6th. Asian in 7th. Adam in 8th. Avenue OK in 9th. And Lethal Pete in 10th. Racing Uncle in 11th. Dubsy in 12th. Hendricks in 13th. Hussein Kuzi in 14th. Mick 15th. 16th. Ozan. And that's your lineup and grid for the race. It's a 2 minutes what is it, rest period for everyone to change their setups, change strategy and change fuel, and then we'll go right away because I believe there is no formation lap for this week. So too slow. Pete says he's too slow. Well, you're in the top 10. You're ahead of what, 5 drivers, 6 drivers, so it's okay. It's okay. Few drivers starting on mediums, some starting on the hards. Maybe some hasn't changed their strategy at all. It's a question mark. Thanks, dude. No worries. Right, so I have to get ready because there's no warning to see whether the 5 lights go out, and there is no formation lap either. Let's see what happens, but hopefully things should be okay. We get some water in before the start. Right, we're waiting for drivers to get started, and it's 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And we get underway for the Qatari Grand Prix, and Alex gets a drive-through penalty for a jump start. It's a good start for Tristan. Alex didn't want that at all. One of the title challengers has got a jump start. Alex in second place. Starting, losing a place, and Alex has spun, and he's taken Starting with him. And that allows Zarowski, who started 6th, now into 2nd. A nightmare start for Alex, taking Starting along with him. And it's Tristan, who is in a lonely first at the moment after the first lap. That's an Alpine going off track, and that's Kendricks. Jeez. And Zarowski, who has a brilliant start in 2nd place, vacant in 3rd. Avenue K in 4th now. Asian in 5th. Kendricks in 6th. Alex, a 5-place grid penalty. Not 5-place grid penalty, a 10-second time penalty for jumping the start. And so the Qatar Grand Prix gets underway. Time penalties could play a massive factor here. Drive-through penalty for Alex. I've said the wrong penalty 2 times in a row. Oh dear. So it's a drive-through penalty for Alex, which he needs to serve within the first 3 laps of the race. Starting, who started P2, now down in a faraway P15. Closest battle at the moment is between Asian and Avenue OK. And Asian would want to get the move done on the McLaren, and he goes down the inside of the first corner. Avenue OK is fighting this round the outside. An inside, which turns to an outside for turn 2. And Asian isn't able to get past. Racing Encore has left the session and retired. No longer wants to take part in the session. And so V-Carb, who saw the instant play. Oh, that's Kendricks! Braking way too late, and that allows Adam in the Haas to take advantage. Kendricks, very optimistic into that hairpin. And now Adam. It's supposed to be a hard medium strategy. Speaking of strategy, let's see what tyres everyone is on. What is happening here? Let's see what tyres everyone is on. Okay, something has happened with my thing. Okay. There we go. Okay. So, oh, it's a completely switched up tyre strategy here. Kendricks starting on the softs. Most starting on... It's like a 50-50 split between the medium and hard runners. It could be a one-stop, and Asian will go down the inside of Avni-OK. Avni-OK sticks around the outside, which turns into the inside, but Asian is going side by side into turn 2, and it's blocking the grandstands, and Asian gets past the McLaren Avni-OK, now pursuing the podium, which Vacant is in currently. Kendricks in the soft compound tyres needs to get past the McLaren to make this work, but it's a bold strategy call for the Alpine, who is currently in 6th place. It's just a guarantee he'll have to do at least a 2-stop. Kendricks on the soft compound tyre, closing up the gap to the McLaren. And Tristan and Zarowski pulling away from the pack. It looks like to be the battle for the win between those two, because Alex has now served his drive-through penalty very far away from this train of cars after the 3rd lap. Absolute cinema indeed. We've got back onto the DRS straight. No passes seem to be happening here. Pretty orderly into turn 1, mostly. Oh, that's Vacant going off track. Where is he? He's let Asian past. What has happened to Vacant? He's lost the podium. He did go wide at the exit of turn 1, I believe. And that allows the V-carb through. The man who finished 2nd last week at Suzuka, now in 4th place, which isn't a bad position to be in after 4 laps of the Grand Prix. But he wouldn't want to make that mistake again. Now Asian is starting to pull away from the Williams. Both on the medium compound tyre, Avni-OK on the hard compound tyre. Avni-OK has started pretty well regarding, because of even with the hard compound tyre, the top 4 on mediums. Back on the DRS straight, Asian doesn't have the help of the DRS. Everyone else behind. Kendricks would like to get past Avni-OK. Oh, he switches down to the inside, and it's contact side by side. He switches late, and that was an unexpected move from the Alpine. Avni-OK defends on the inside. Hards versus softs. Who will win out side by side through turn 3, and now approaching turn 4. The Kendricks does get the move done. Kendricks not patient at all. He doesn't want to be patient. He's on the softs. He can't be patient, surely. And the McLaren will have to concede 5th place. And Kendricks now hunting down Vacant in 4th. How long will the soft compound tyres last around here? That's the bigger question. The closest battle right now is this train of cars, although the battle for the lead is approaching under a second between Tristan and Zarowski. Vacant 7/10 behind Asian. Wants to get back into that podium position, which he lost. No moves seem to be happening here. At the end of this straight, Adam is quickly approaching Avni-OK, the 2 hard compound runners in the top 8. Just needs to make these tyres last, and Stratton gets a 3-second time penalty in 15th. He had the first lap collision with Alex. Was basically a passenger and all that, I believe. I didn't really see the incident particularly well, but regardless, quite far away, unfortunately. Avenue K is very close to Kendrick's, and we could see the switch from when the softs are fastest to where the harder compounds are, because Kendrick's is losing pace compared to the cars in front and behind. And now back onto the main straight. It's round number 7 for these trainer cars, and the McLaren in 6th will not be going for the move this time. Does have a look slightly, but doesn't commit to it. Adam was squaring up for a move, doesn't in the end. And the McLaren will have to wait for a mistake by the Alpine or the DRS straight to get a move done. It's the trainer cards. I have nothing to describe at the moment, apart from the number of strategies there are at the moment. Top 4 mediums, Kendricks and softs, and below Avenue K, basically all hards except for Mick and Leave Repeat. Oh, and Adam is so close to okay. Loses time in the quick right-handers. And Kendricks seems to have pulled away very quickly from the McLaren. And they've all pretty much spread out equally here. Adam, possibly the closest to get the move done on the McLaren, does go down the inside. There's contact side by side into turn 1. Kind of a forced move, but Adam gets the move done. Adam does get the move done on the McLaren Avenue OK. A very aggressive move. Contact into turn 1. Wasn't going to wait once again. And now the Haas has got Kendricks ahead on 7-lap-old softs. Kendricks has had a good start, but will this strategy call to start on the softs ruin his race? Carlos in chat says the softs last around 7 laps around here, so we're coming towards the end of their lifespan. Still in the train though, and still in the DRS train, but no, Adam has had a brilliant exit, only 2 turns behind. Kendricks on none ERS, defends down to the inside, and Adam will go round the outside of the Alpine, makes it look easy, but Kendricks is still fighting back into turn 2, but can do nothing about it. And Adam goes up into 5th. It's a charge from the Haas. Next is vacant. Avenue OK. Now so close to the Alpine and goes down the inside. It's an aggressive move, and that pushes Kendricks out. That's a terrible camera angle. I can't even see what's happening. But Avenue OK gets past Kendricks by barging him out of the way. Aggressive, but it's done. Vacant. Right behind Asian Persuasion. Asian not being able to pull away from this train. And now has the hard compound tyre runners to contend with. Mediums will slowly be losing their performance as Hussein Kuzi gets a 3-second time penalty. Currently in 9th. back of the DRS straight, and Kendricks does finally go into the pits. Asian will try to defend down the inside, goes back onto the racing line, and Vacant will go down the inside. Asian has to avoid the collision because Vacant has gone very deep into turn 1, and that allows Asian to fight back into turn 2. Asian going round the outside of turn 2 and does keep the position of Vacant, ahead of Vacant, but Vacant isn't going to take... Oh wait, as Adam tries to get the move done on Vacant and goes down the inside of the Williams, and Adam will get the move done. It's a very... Oh jeez, I'm losing track of my thoughts here. Give me a second. Vacant going side by side with Avni OK, and Vacant has lost 3 positions in basically 1.5 sectors. Kind of fading away from the medium tyres at the moment. And Adam is now charging for the podium places. He was at 1.7th. And now it's just 2.5 tenths from the V-Carb. The mediums not performing too well as the hards. 11 laps in. And Adam, DRS straight. Asian defends down on the inside. Adam, which way will we pick? He'll pick the inside line. And Asian doesn't really fight that at all. And Adam is a Haas 1-3 at the moment. And Avni OK also gets past the V-Carb. The hard compound runners of Avni OK and Adam are doing really, really well. As Vacant also goes down the inside of Asian. And something's happened to Asian. What has happened to Asian? He's gone completely wide. And it's a puncture! I believe it's a puncture. What has happened here? Is that a front left puncture? I believe it is. It isn't completely shredded yet, but Asian has had a puncture. The man who was on the podium now will be falling back. Oh dear. Avni OK. Tristan goes into the pits. As well as Vacant, I imagine. Yep. So, Tristan, Vacant, come in for an undercut, I imagine. To get onto the hard compound tyres, Asian goes into the pits because of that puncture. And we'll go onto the hards, I imagine, as well. So, 12 laps in. Zorowski currently in first, but Tristan, just before pitting, was in first. Dubsy gets a 3-second time penalty. Ozan behind Mick, behind Kuzi. Mick on mediums, Ozan, Dubsy on hards. And Mick is very close to the McLaren of Kuzi. Kuzi does have a 3-second time penalty. Mick has very old mediums now. And will Zorowski come into the pits? He does. To try to cover off the undercut from Tristan. As Adam now takes the race lead. Mick does go into the pits. And these two continue on. Where does Zorowski come out? He will come behind the Haas. The provisional race lead still belongs to Tristan. And Alex, who has had a drive-through, starting in third place. Had a collision starting at the first corner. Now in 8th. The battle for what is the podium at the moment still rages on between the Haas and McLaren of Adam and Avenue OK. And we're coming to the end of this lap and the beginning of another one, the DRS straight. One of the very few overtaking spots around this track. Avenue OK will deploy overtake. Adam doesn't have that much ERS. And it doesn't seem like Adam was really fighting that at all, because OK gets past for the podium. Lethal Pete gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Vacant and Benchwarmer fighting it out. Vacant getting past at turn 1. Benchwarmer going slightly wide, gets a 3-second time penalty, and that allows Kendricks to take an opportunity and try to get past. Lethal Pete gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding the pit lane as he retires in the pits. As Kendricks goes down the inside, squares up a move, gets it done. On the 4-lap old hards, he'll be looking to try to get these to an end, to the end. 19 laps he'll need to complete. Total for these hard compound tyres is 15 laps left of the race. Back on the DRS straight, Adam deploys DRS, and it's a switching again. These two seem to be working with one another, playing DRS tactics. They'll need to work together to try to cover off a charge from the cars behind. Benchwarmer gets a 3-second time penalty again for multiple warnings. Hussein comes into the pits to put onto the mediums. It's quite early. The first one of the hard runners to come into the pits. Benchwarmer comes into the pits to go onto the hard compound tyres. He had 2 sets going into this race apparently, so he puts the second one. Stratton gets a 3-second time penalty. Hendricks right behind Vacant. Vacant, who was fighting for the podium at the start of this race, now behind a Ferrari of Alex, who hasn't made his strategy pit stop yet. Tristan right behind Ozan. Ozan on old hard compound tyres. Would like to dispatch quickly as Ozan does go into the pits to get off of these tyres. Avenue OK comes to the pits to go into the mediums. And Tristan is now in 3rd, has got Dubsy ahead of him. So Alex, Avenue OK and Ozan come into the pits this lap to switch onto the mediums. Go to the end. Stratton gets a 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh dear. I was expecting to see a retirement message, and Dubsy lets Tristan through at the hairpin. Doesn't want to hold up the Haas. Let's go to Avenue OK on fresh mediums. Right behind Kendricks. Right behind Vacant. Got the tyre advantage. With one to make it work. between the battle for what could be the podium between these three. Adam, will he come into the pits this lap? He doesn't come into the pits this lap. It's still holding out, and Tristan gets the fastest lap. It's a 24.3. Dubsy comes into the pits in 4th. Asian gets a 3-second time penalty. The man who had an unfortunate puncture at lap 10, now in 10th place. Anthony OK is practically pushing these lots forward. Being behind these cars, it will limit his pace. Starting will come into the pits, a 10-second time penalty again, and will retire from the session. An unfortunate race for what could have been a podium. Started second. Had an incident with Alex at turn 1, lap 1. Now retires from the session. Anthony OK is right behind the Alpine. These two collided before they made their pit stops. And the battle will resume once again. Kendricks does have the help of DRS. Adam finally comes to the pits. Don't forget, Adam and Tristan, Avni and Tristan, not Tristan, Adam and Avni were right behind each other, and it's going to be side by side coming out of the pits, and Adam loses out to Avni OK. And now it's a 4-way battle for the podium between Vacant, Kendricks, Avni OK and Adam. The two cars behind the two hard compound runners. Oh dear, this is going to be cinema for the final 11 laps. Kendricks. Oh, Avni, okay, we'll try to go down the inside. Avni locks up the rear, the front lefts, and now we'll go side by side towards the exit of this corner, and Kendricks will defend down the inside, but Avni, okay, has the tyre advantage, and we'll try to go round the outside, and we'll try to get the move down. Adam joins in the fun as well, and we'll go down the inside of Kendricks and gets moved down. Kendricks has lost 2 positions within 2 corners, and now is Vacant. It's for the medium compound runners. Adam and Avni. Now Vacant ahead. Benchwarmer retires from the session. Zarowski gets the fastest lap of 24.1. The second place man, 4 seconds behind the leader. And now Avni okay. Will Vacant fight for this, or won't he? Avni okay squares up a move as well as Adam. Adam will try to go around the outside of the McLaren, and it's a brilliant move around the outside. I don't think Avni expected it. Adam goes into 4th place, and now Vacant is in danger of the Haas. Vacant gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and that squashes any chance of an opportunity for a podium. They're going to kill these mediums, says Carlos in the chat, and they could well do, depending on how much they're pushing. But the battle for the podium now seems squarely between the Haas and the McLaren, because Vacant, with a 3-second time penalty, can't possibly imagine to get ahead by 3 seconds at the moment. So the 4 cars entering the last corner. Kendrick's a bit behind these two, and Adam is going to go for the move, isn't he? On fresh mediums. Vacant doesn't fight it. Adam goes through. Avni OK will have to wait to get into 4th. Dubsy and Asian Persuasion are fighting, and Dubsy does get ahead of Asian. Asian on old hards, Dubsy on new mediums. Okay. Behind the Williams, Ozan gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh! I believe that was a bit of contact between the Williams and the McLaren, front wing to rear bumper, but doesn't seem to be any damage so far, so all seems well and good. Which allows Kendricks, this battle allows Kendricks to catch up. Tristan gets the fastest lap with 124.1, I believe. Zarowski also got 124.1, but oh, Vacant goes very wide on the exit on the second to last corner. Adam gets the fastest lap with a 23.6. It's almost 5 tenths faster than Tristan's lap. Oh, okay, we'll be defending down the inside. And we'll stay there. Adam would like to make a charge towards the top 2, but there is a 10-second gap between him and Zarowski. So it's a tall order for the final 8 laps. He would have to gain 1.5 seconds basically every lap to even get a chance. So at the moment, a podium is sealed. Yeah, that's all I had to say. Jesus. After the OK is right behind the Williams once again. Perhaps getting slightly frustrated due to the slow car, and that's Mick going slowly in the Red Bull. Something's happened there. But no matter, Alex gets a 3-second time penalty. In 12th place, the man who qualified in 3rd, now down in 12th after a driving penalty and contact in turn 1. And OK, who saved up all of this ERS, would like to get the move done on the Williams. We've been talking about it for a couple of laps right now. It could be done. It isn't this time. OK. Still patient. Because Vacant does have a 3-second time penalty. Asian leaving the session. As well, that's a Ferrari stopped out on track, and that's Alex. Alex has spun, I believe, on the exit turn. What's that? Okay, never mind. I don't know what happened. Let's go back to having the OK, because this battle is still raging on. How much ERS does Vacant have to work with? 57, Avni 81. Kendricks very close here, could get into the top 4 if he takes advantage of these two cars battling. So what I believe is basically round 4 at this point between the McLaren and Williams. And that Williams is so fast, but Avni, okay, we'll try to go down the inside, locks up. That Williams is very fast in a straight line. Avni, okay, we'll have to wait once again. 2 tenths. Plus and minus a tenth. Splitting these two. As Alex retires from the session. The person who won last week now retires. The battle for 4th place is still here, although it's kind of meaningless due to Vacant's 3-second time penalty. Still, this is the closest battle out on track. Asians left the session again. And Avni OK has been the closest he's been on this straight, but that Williams is a rocket. But there's nothing that the Williams can do now, as the McLaren will finally get the move done into turn 1. And it's 4th place. The drivers who were started on the hard compound tyres. It turned out to be the right strategy call because of where they started. Both McLaren, with Avni OK and Adam and the Haas, were starting in the top 10, but it was lower than they would like to, around like 7th or 8th. And that allows them to get ahead of drivers like Vacant and Kendricks. The strategy working out well for them. And Adam has been slowly gaining towards Zarowski and Tristan. But whether he has enough laps or whether the tyres will last is another question entirely. Kendricks right behind Vacant. Vacant will not have the aid of DRS. And it all but seems confirmed that the Alpine will go down the inside. Vacant will defend this round the outside. Will try to get a nose in, but nothing can do because Kendrick's now in the top 5. So now, hopefully it should all simmer down. Maybe it will simmer down. Simmer down, I mean. But the battle for P4 could still happen because Kendricks is not far away from DRS. But, well, he's on 15 lap old hards, the oldest hards on the track at the moment. It doesn't seem like he could challenge for top 4. But he will try. Now 1.5 seconds behind the McLaren. Doesn't seem likely. Adam, last time I checked on him, he was 7.5 seconds away. Now it's 6.5. There's 4 laps to go, including this one. Will he have enough time? He will need to gain basically 2 seconds per lap to get even a chance for second, but it's worth a shot. Vacant, half a tenth behind, but all seems done for the fight for 5th due to Vacant's time penalty. Tristan, who has had basically a flawless race from the start, we might as well give him some screen time considering he's 8 seconds ahead of second. The only driver to make it into the 20s in qualifying, for 20.6, had an unchallenged lead into turn 1, lap 1, and stayed pretty much the lead, disregarding the differences between where people pitted or not. He's been unchallenged so far. If he does finish in first, which is very likely, it'll be a well-deserved win for the Haas. Vacant is fighting with Kendricks. Vacant will go down the inside of Kendricks, but isn't able to get the move done. The battle will not stop between these two. Vacant with the aid of DRS does try, but no. The only battle that's going on track is between these two at the moment. And even then, it all seems pretty much full, apart from if Vacant gets his time penalty removed, which I don't know if he can. Places seem to be set in stone at the moment, unless Vacant can pressure Kendricks to get a time penalty. Let's have a look at who is gay. Oh wait, no, let's not do that just yet, because we're back on the main straight, and Vacant isn't going to let this pass because, well, that move was a bit easier than the first one, wasn't it? And Vacant will go into the top 5 on track. Let's see. Starting has left the session. Let's see. The position changes. Kendricks getting 7th places, Ozan getting 7th places. A good drive for the Alpine. But let's not forget about Adam, Avni OK and Zarowski. Zarowski being aided by the fact that Alex and Strating collided on the first lap. So, but managed to get clean through the start, so that's fair enough to him in 2nd place at the moment. Adam, good strategy, starting with the hard combat tires as well as Avni. Vacant, apparently staying in the same position as he qualified. Hendricks with 7 places gained, Dalzi was 5. A lot of drivers gaining a lot of places due to the amount of retirements we currently have. But as we're on the final lap now, Tristan gets started on it. It's a well-deserved drive. 7.7 seconds ahead of the Aston. Hendricks not fighting with the Williams. Christian from pole has got one more sector to go through. Oh, and there's yellow flags at turn 2. But let's focus back on 1st place, because Tristan will come across the line now to win his 2nd race of the season. And the Qatari Grand Prix is won by Tristan. Zarowski will take 2nd place for the podium. Started 6th. And Adam for a well-deserved 3rd. Avni OK. A very good race for top 4. And a battle for 5th and 6th. Will come across the line, and Kendricks will get 5th, Vacant will get 6th, Dubsy will come across the line, the Group 3 driver in 7th, Hussein, the other Group 3 driver in the McLaren, gets 8th, Mick, for what I believe is his Group 2 debut this season, will come in 9th place, and Ozan will finish in 10th, Asian already crossed the line previously to finish in 11th. Well, that's your race here at Qatar, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone in between, because we're waiting. This is round 5, and Tristan is a Haas 1-3. Good lap, good result for the team. And well done. What's the next round, actually? I do need to check that. That's a good question. Next round is... It's a break next week. And after that, it's a full quali Singapore Grand Prix. Oh, God. Who decided to put full quali at Singapore? Singapore's already a long race enough. Anyway, that's alright. That's enough of me complaining. Well, so it's a break next week. And then after next week, it's Singapore. And Tristan takes a win, Zarowski in second, Adam, who gets the fastest lap, is in third place, Avni OK in fourth, Kendricks in fifth, Aiken in sixth, Dubsy in seventh, Hussein Kuzi in eighth, ninth is Mick, Ozan is 10th, and the ungodly amount of time penalties, which you do get around this track, to be fair. Well, thank you very much for watching this race. We'll see you all in 2 weeks for Singapore, which I have no doubt will be a long one. So, goodbye.